Hello there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing well today. Today, we're having a real look in the mirror moment because I have a question, and this is it. Yeah. Did anyone catch the Manchester game against Everton? Did anyone watch the game between Everton versus Manchester United? It wasn't pretty, it wasn't Joga Bonito, but it was a masterclass in professional grit. They got a lead and they protected it like their lives depended on it. And Maguire and Euro were absolute giants. They were switched on, they were very vocal and disciplined. And above all, they left with the 3 points. Now, you look at us, just look at Chelsea. We are the polar opposite right now because while Manchester United are finding ways to win when playing poorly, we are finding ways to draw or lose when we should be out of sight. And that's what we're about to look at today in this video. Okay, because we're breaking down the shocking stats, Liam Rosenier's accountability crisis, and the terrifying reality that missing the Champions League could lead to a fire sale of some of our biggest stars. And let's just get right into it. Now, the first thing I want us to talk about is the indiscipline crisis. Because 19 points and 6 red cards. Like we've lost 19 points from winning positions and gotten ourselves red carded unnecessary, according to Nisa Kinsella, is quite damning. Like 19 points from winning position this season, and that's like 7 games where we've had the leads and just ended up surrendering them, like letting them slip. And when you combine that with a league high 6 red card, you see a pattern of total indiscipline. And we aren't just being beaten, we are beating ourselves. Whether you want to attribute that to a lack of focus or emotional immaturity, this team is hemorrhaging point, and it's hemorrhaging point badly. How can a squad that costs over £2 billion to assemble be this fragile? Well, it's not just the cards we're talking about here. It's about the sleepwalking that we keep doing during games. We saw it against Leeds, and we've just seen it even against Burnley. Games that were there for the taking. We are ruthless in front of goal at times, but we can't do that on a consistent basis. We cannot even do the basics. No clean sheets, no value placed on defending set pieces, according to even Liam Rosenior. It's like a Ferrari with no brakes. Now let's talk about the post-match interview that Liam Rosenior had again after the game against Burnley, because he said quite a few things that shouldn't actually be taken with levity of hand, shouldn't be taken very lightly. Okay, those are heavy words, and this is not on Liam Rosenior. This is something that is becoming a pattern, even when very obvious to the naked eye, even during the Enzo Maresca's era. And Liam Rosenior is clearly frustrated. And according to Bobby Vincent, after the post-match interview, where he revealed that a marking assignment was flat out missed. He said we had a player assigned to mark Zian Fleming, one of Burnley's, or if not Burnley's, biggest threats aerially, and that player marked the wrong person. And this goes back to what Rosiner said about people you can lean on, because he's looking for leaders, not players who can. He's looking for players who can manage the games when the manager can't talk them through it from the touchline. And it's obvious, it's clear as day that we've got plenty of talent, but do we have enough dogs right now? It feels like we have a team of individuals who switch off the moment the pressure cracks in. If you don't do the dirty works of marking and set piece organization, you don't belong in the top four. And that's just how it is for me. Because let's be honest with ourselves. Yeah, this is just it's basic. It's the basic. It's football 101. We saw this last season where players would look switch on for 80% or 80 minutes and then they just start to sleepwalk. We are bad at set piece. We are struggling to struggling with intensity, and Rosenior has noted it. He said there is a lack of people you can lean on where when the pressure, like I said, rises at the bridge, the silence in that squad is deafening. Where are the leaders? Where are the terrorists, the KOs or the Ivanovic who would grab a teammate by the shirt and say, you do not leave that man free. And this boils down to recruitment strategy because like I said, we've spent over £2 billion to assemble this squad, yet we find ourselves in the same cycle of fragility. We boast of all the players in the world with Esteval, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, even João Pedro. But we do not have the dogs. And Manchester United, for all their faults, showed that they have players who can suffer. Chelsea don't even have that. Chelsea don't even seem to know how to suffer. We want to play beautiful, expansive football, but when Burnley turns it into a scrap, we fold. Now you look at the table, United won 1-0 against Everton at Everton's home ground. And now that puts them three points clear ahead of Chelsea, leaving us 11 on points with Liverpool. And you look at the fixtures list, it's a sinner's row. Arsenal, Man City, a trip to Anfield, even a vengeful Everton. Then also after Arsenal, we've got Aston Villa. And these are unforgiving games. And if we couldn't hold a lead against a 10-man Burnley, not even a 10-man Burnley, I mean, we won't got the red card going to Wesley Fofana. But then, even we were 10-man down, we shouldn't be panicking against a team like Burnley, who cannot even string 2-3 passes together. Or they are even scared, who are scared to push the ball forward. Or a struggling Leeds earlier this year. And how are we going to survive the onslaught of the top 3 or the top 4? Because it's very frightening. The race for the final Champions League spot is a dogfight, and frankly, our form is dipping at the worst possible time. And when you look at the fixtures list, Chelsea have, like I said, we've got by far the hardest remaining fixture schedule. We are talking about back-to-back heavyweight clashes. Like I said, Arsenal, Aston Villa, then you have the Manchester City, you have the Liverpool, like I said, the hungry Everton. It's back to back, and this is we don't even know who we're up against in the Champions League, and there's a big chance that we're going to be up against either Newcastle or PSG. That's another one. How will Chelsea? See, we've dropped 17 points at Stamford Bridge. 17 points at Stamford Bridge. It's shocking. And I'm not gonna lie, my confidence is at an all-time low because this team doesn't fill me with confidence. Like I said, they do not want to suffer. The older generation suffered when we went a man down against Barcelona. We went to Napoli against players like Lavezzi, Cavani, Marek Hamsik. They were willing to give it their all. I'm not seeing these players passionate enough to give their all. And this is my biggest fear. And the consequences of not making the Champions League is going to be pretty dire. It's going to be pretty dire because when we look at it, Chelsea's players, okay, their wages will drop by approximately 30% for many of the squad members. And if the squad they fail to qualify for the Champions League, and this reduction we all know is driven by specific performance related clauses inserted into contracts by the current ownership group to protect the club from significant revenue loss associated with missing Europe's premier competition. And this is according to the London Evening Standard. So when you look at this, these players have tasted playing in the Champions League. Players like Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo. We're talking about Levi Colwill. We're talking about Joao Pedro. Now they're playing in the Champions League, and they are having a 30% of their 30% added to their wages. Do you think that if they fail to qualify for the Champions League, they will want to stick around when there are clubs out there that is willing to offer them even more than what they're earning at Chelsea? These players want to be playing on Tuesday and Wednesday night against Real Madrid, against the Bayern Munich, not the Servette and maybe at worst teams in the Europa League. I don't think they will be willing to want to play in lower competitions like the Europa League, no disrespect to them, or at worst the Conference League. So if we miss out, I'm not going to be surprised if their agents start looking at the exit door because we've spent 2 billion to assemble this squad. Okay. And world-class players don't stay at clubs that finishes 5th or 6th. And like I said, it's a tough hill to climb. And the margin for error is now 0. We talk about Moises Caicedo signing with a new agent. We talk about Enzo Fernandez signing with a new agent. What does this mean? We've heard rumors that these players have started talking about improvement on their contract or their pay. Imagine if we fail to qualify for the Champions League. Do you think that they would be willing to accept a reduction in their pay or in their wages? Anyway, that's everything I have for you guys in this video. Thanks for joining me on the 6-yard banter, and hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comment section, do you trust this squad to survive the heavyweight gauntlet that we're about to start facing, starting with Arsenal on Sunday? Do you think Chelsea will qualify for the Champions League? And what do you think that should be the way forward? Because do you think if Chelsea fail to qualify for the Champions League, do you think that we're going to be losing some of our biggest players and stars in the club? Let me know what you guys think about everything I've said in the comment section below. Don't forget to share this video because it's the only way you can help this channel grow. And yeah, if there's any other thing that comes up between now and the next game, which is a trip to the Emirates Stadium, I'll be here to share with you guys. But until then, it's Chelsea first, rivals next. Peace.